Trying to understand the concept of perfection will probably drive us all insane.
JP.
I'm letting go of everyone who's gonna drag me down. I'm letting go of everyone who's never real for sure. Just let me know when you're ready to tear down your pride. I don't want no more battles lurking in my life. Been in a loop, getting lost again. Suicidal thoughts ringing in my head. Can't shake the feeling, wonder if I was there. Will I be numb or will I feel the pain? Fighting me a demon, say them with my fists. I need a clock. Time be running out and the clock just ticks. Louder tick-tock, domino effect. Hit one then, the rest will fall. I better stand up before they drag me to Mount Fall. Lost too many people in my life. Feel all alone, I'm trying to own what belongs to me. Won't sell my soul. I can never go back to the man I was before. I won't ever. I know better, I'm better. If people don't see it, they need a night. This one eye's blurry, monocoast to tight fit. Can't see why I'm distant, it's more than 9 feet. Got two fingers in the sky, all I want is some peace. I'm letting go of everyone who's gonna drag me down. I'm letting go of everyone who's never real for sure. Just let me know when you're ready to tear down your pride. I don't want no more battles lurking in my life. Been in a loop, getting lost again. Suicidal thoughts ringing in my head. Can't shake the feeling, wonder if I was there. Will I be numb or will I feel the pain?
JP.
Welcome to this edition of the Hangout Cafe. I'm your host, Joseph Njao. And just in case you didn't know, today in history, we remember one very fateful event that actually, even a movie was done for this thing. It is when the Titanic struck the iceberg. Now, if you didn't know that the Titanic struck an iceberg off the coast of a place called Newfoundland, and it sank to the bottom of the bottom of the sea early the next morning, and it took the lives of over 1,500 people. Now, if you didn't know, now you know. It has been a long-standing tradition right here on the Hangout Cafe for us to actually peruse through all the matters that involve news and carefully package a few stories that will highlight the discussion today. Now, it is time for the news. Now, the Energy Secretary, Monica Juma, has actually promised motorists that the government will restore the normal supply of petroleum products in all parts of the country within the next 72 hours. Now, the CAS actually ordered authorities to allow fuel tanks to move across the country on a privileged basis to stabilize supply within 72 hours. Now, retailers also have been urged to operate for 24 hours, and all people are actually finally getting a breath of fresh air because, come on, the fuel crisis have been going on for too long. And I think somebody also dropped the ball with regard to this matter, and it's time for something, just a peaceful resolution to the same. If you didn't know, also Dr. Juma also said that there are a few companies that are actually, in a way, hoarding, or in a way causing the shortage, intentionally causing the shortage within the country, and that has to be condemned. And also said, aside from hoarding, the government has disbursed about $34.6 billion from the Fuel Stabilization Fund to ensure that the price of the commodity goes down. And in addition, the state has also decided to pay also an addition of $14 billion to ensure that at least we have oil to all marketers by 3 p.m. on Thursday, which has actually passed. So that is also a very good thing. Now, to the gist of the story, to the gist of the discussion today. Now, Britain has decided to send immigrants or asylum seekers who are actually caught from crossing its channels all the way to the Republic of Rwanda. Yes, if you didn't hear me right, you've heard me today. All of you, the guests, I think you might be thinking is that what on earth must be going on, especially the fact that you're hearing that asylum seekers are actually being shipped to Rwanda. Now, Rwanda will have the capacity to settle tens and thousands of people in the years ahead, said Johnson, the Prime Minister. And I must confess, when I read this, I thought this must be a joke or some form of fake news. But unfortunately, there is more. And when I say it's more, is that in a statement by the Rwanda's foreign minister, he says that Rwanda welcomes the partnership with the United Kingdom and also will offer a path to citizenship, or a path to have for these members. Now, this is a major flex on Rwanda's part, and also a very good thing when it comes to East African community. But it is not all roses, because the fact that it is not all roses, it means that there's an activist who's actually claiming that instead of UK paying its fair share, it's actually sending immigrants to its former colonies. And that word actually really triggered me, the word former colonies. So when we get back, we shall start with the discussions.
Sorry. So cute.
Welcome to Multimedia University of Kenya. We pride ourselves in offering the most conducive environment for learning, with beautiful sceneries that inspire the creative and nurture the bold. With a vibrant student culture, Multimedia University of Kenya is determined to offer facilities that not only support academic and professional growth, but also encourages personal development. The Student Counseling Department under the Dean of Students is anchored to support and nurture our students' mental health. The department prides itself on its openness, professionalism, and dedication to every student. The Multimedia University of Kenya, looking beyond the academic, molding the future professional.
And welcome back to the Hangout Cafe with me, Fabian, and also along the discussion of the day. Now, with me today, I have a couple of friends, very intelligent friends, I might add, who are going to help me discuss and delve into some of these topical issues, especially with regard to the Africa's and Kenya's position on the international stage, and also with specific focus onto young people. So, on my left, I'm joined by
Lindo Danflo.
Her name is Lindo Danflo, and Thuku D. Minor. Now, the discussion of the day is pretty simple. Yeah, we've heard the story about Rwanda,
Yes.
and the fact that there is an agreement between Rwanda and the United Kingdom, such that asylum seekers who are caught going through the channel can actually be shipped off to Rwanda, and also the fact that somebody actually said that is the United Kingdom shipping its problems, quote unquote, to its former colony. So I would like to get your thoughts on the matter.
Okay, I'll start by saying I think the person who pointed out that Rwanda is that the United Kingdom is forwarding its problems to its former colonies is actually right. I mean, do these asylum seekers actually want to be in Rwanda? They are in the United Kingdom for a reason.
Why not Rwanda?
Yeah, they don't want to be in Rwanda.
Why not Rwanda? That's the question. Why not Rwanda?
They don't want to be in Rwanda. Why are they being brought to Rwanda?
So what did you say about the matter?
Okay, first, thank you for having me in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two sides of the coin in this story.
Okay.
First, it's quite unfortunate that Rwanda is accepting people who are, let me say, people who are rejected in another country.
Mm-hmm.
Because first, if these people are really useful, like very useful, I don't think UK would be taking them or rather deporting them to another country. UK
But you would know that
would welcome them with open hands because they are resourceful.
well,
So, the reason why UK is taking them to Rwanda is
Mhm.
because they are not useful to them. And it's quite unfortunate Rwanda is taking that as something that is very good or rather a privilege.
All right. Now, the useful part is where I have the contention, right? Because I think asylum seekers are individuals who are actually running away from their countries either due to war, starvation, poverty, and many other issues in search for better postures, isn't it? Now, if these are the kind of individuals we call not useful, then which individual would we call useful?
Yes. The point is not that since they are starving or since that they are having problems, that is not even the main issue.
Mm-hmm.
The main issue is, okay, around UK, I believe there are many countries around UK to whom they could take these people. Countries that are maybe even bigger. Rwanda is a very small country, to be honest, a very small country. Say that we are taking a herd of refugees or displaced people for them to settle there. I think we still have the colonial mentality with us, and we still think that the white people are superior to us, which is very, very unfortunate.
Well, in contradiction to the South, because I will actually get to that, is the fact that the Rwandese president has been very vocal against the Western countries and saying that, you know what, Africa will always stand up for Africa, and there's nothing you can say about it. Now, I would like to remind us that there's actually an existing agreement between the UK and Rwanda in terms of sharing. So I'm sure in one way or another, Rwanda is getting some favor, either financial assistance, whichever bucket is getting for doing this thing. But we shall proceed on with the same. Now, the tendency of African countries taking up, let's say, the bulk. Yeah, the tendency of African countries taking up the bulk of, let's say, what is being shipped off from Western countries, whether it is through products and services, whether it is through kickbacks and grants. You know, it's a very controversial issue, isn't it? And I think when we come back, we shall start tackling this issue and try to see what is the position that Africa and Kenya itself can take on the global stage to ensure that this is actually curtailed, isn't it? So, when we come back after this commercial break, we shall continue with this very enticing conversation. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back, and thank you for keeping it right here with us at the Hangout Cafe as we continue this very interesting conversation about the position of Kenya and the position of Africa on the international community, especially with relation to young people. Now, somebody has said they have a very burning point to give, and I think I would be remiss not to give this man an opportunity. Mr. Thuku, you say that there's something specifically you'd like to tell us. What exactly might that be?
Yes, and like I said, we have two sides of the coin.
Okay.
And I'll give an example of what is happening in Kenya. In Kenya, you find that literally from the past few years, you have many Chinese workers who are actually doing construction, doing beautiful works. You have the outer ring, the Thika Road. All those tenders are given to the Chinese people. So China shipped human resource to our country. So they actually shipped people who can be useful to us. And now that is something that is not bad. We are taking human resource from the Western countries because I would say for sure we lack that expertise up to the point where we lack the expertise to maybe build quality roads even like the outer ring. And that is what we should be saying in the African countries. In us, third world countries, Kenya, Rwanda, we are at the same level. So the case where we have people who are seeking asylum, or rather even refugees, being shipped to a smaller country, it's not really right. An African leader should not really take it.
Shouldn't be taken very seriously. Now, with line with whatever he said, the fact that indeed when you're doing major construction or major projects, we are having shipping of brains, isn't it? As if we do not have local talent, isn't it? Now, number one is just to note that, for example, in the country, it is seen that the majority of your workforce has to be Kenyan, isn't it? That is seen, for example, in the construction of the newly constructed. You know what I'm talking about. So the newly constructed of the same. But do you think that is enough, or more needs to be done to ensure that you secure local talent and local jobs and businesses?
I think we should do more to ensure that our resources are being used more, because it wasn't just about human labor being imported from China. It was also about them coming in with their wheelbarrows, with their equipment. You get? So if these things could have been sourced from Kenya, from our hardware, we could have promoted our businesses and economy.
But let me be the devil's advocate. Yeah. In this situation, what you're mentioning isn't present in the country? Is it the failure of the government not doing enough, or is it the failure of at least us, let's say, turning a blind eye to when other outsourced talents actually do the same thing that can be available in the country?
I really don't think it's about us failing. It's the level that we are actually. You know, in Kenya we are more of an agricultural country than a manufacturing country. Okay. That means of what we produce more. We produce coffee, we produce tea. I was in Dubai the other day and they were telling us they really love Kenyan coffee. They love the Sasini coffee. So up to now we are shipping agricultural products more than the manufacturing.
But now with the position of Kenya and the position of Africa in the international stage, you've already said that Kenya is known as an agricultural country and not a manufacturing country. So what will be our posture? Now there are different aspects in which we can flex on the international community. One good example is the fact that we are in the United Nations Security Council, isn't it? But now, how would you rate Kenya's position on the international stage, or Africa's position on the international stage? Do you think we're getting the attention we deserve, or do you think we're just third world, third rate? We are like an afterthought. What did you say?
I think we are like an afterthought, because look at the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Even for the vaccines to come into the country, into our continent, it took a while. The first world countries were already being vaccinated, yet for Africans, vaccines were barely getting into the country. So we are an afterthought. Also, I think we are very powerful, yet we don't realize it. If we are the producers, then that means the manufacturers have nothing without us. Yeah, so we have to look into that better. But I think there's so much neocolonization that we think we are small because they manufacture. But we are the producers, we are the source.
Well, I know you want to say something about the issue, but I'm going to ask you to hold it just a little bit. We take a nice break, and when we come back, we shall hear you before we then get to hear from the artist of the day, Mr. Kid Akon, who's also in the building, and get to talk about his musical journey, isn't it? Yes. Just hold it right there, we'll be right back. Thank you for joining us. Don't touch that dial.
Trying to understand the concept of perfection will probably drive us all insane.
JP.
I'm letting go of everyone who's gonna drag me down. I'm letting go of everyone who's never real for sure. Just let me know when you're ready to tear down your pride. I don't want no more battles lurking in my life. Been in a loop, getting lost again. Suicidal thoughts ringing in my head. Can't shake the feeling, wonder if I was there. Will I be numb, or will I feel the pain? Fighting here, demons, hit them with my fists. I need a glow. Time be running out and the clock just ticks. Louder tick-tock, don't mean no effect. Hit one then, the rest will fall. I better stand up before they drag me to Mount Fall. Lost too many people in my life. Feel all alone, I'm trying to own what belongs to me. Won't sell my soul. I can never go back to the man I was before. I won't ever. I know better, I'm better. If people don't see it, they need it.
And welcome back to the Hangout Cafe with me, your host Fabian the Phenomenal. And if you do not know, I'm always live on the weekly show on MMU Radio 99.9 FM. And we've come to that particular point of the show where we get to introduce the artists of the day. You know, of course, our duty at the Hangout Cafe. It is not always serious conversation. At times, we do get some bit of entertainment from people who are actually making headlines in the day. And today, this such people or such individual who has been making headlines is one other than the Kid Icon. What's up, dude? What's up, dude? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good?
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Thank you so much. I feel good being back.
Feel good being back.
Being interviewed actually.
Being interviewed. You know, I should say that the beauty of it is that we did an interview in radio.
Yeah.
And it was a blast.
Actually, it was my first interview.
Oh, it was your first radio interview. No, we should say this is your first live interview.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad that we're making first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Kid Icon. Of course, the very first question is, how did you come up with the name the Kid Icon?
I've been changing names before I settled on the Kid Icon.
Okay.
So at first I thought that maybe I'd call myself Icon because I wanted to be a representation of something positive to my peers. But well, the Icon name was taken by another artist.
Okay.
So I was like Kid Icon. And then Kid Icon was taken. And I was like, okay, that Kid Icon.
Become the Kid
like
Icon.
I'm the one. I'm the one. Like I was just done. So
Yeah.
I settled on the last one.
Yeah, you settled on the last one,
Yeah.
Kid Icon. And it's pretty a great name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Kid Icon, you know, you've done very powerful and inspirational music over the time you've been doing music.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that you're very particular about mental health.
Yeah.
Which is something very important, especially right now.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say to an individual who may be going through a mental health crisis at the moment?
I think the best thing is find someone you can talk to. And if don't hold it all in. If you hold it in, then it becomes toxic. Yeah.
Now, and finding ways to let out.
Yeah.
So we can say like somebody can let out stress and everything through your music. Man, market yourself.
Well, I personally, when I was in my lowest moments, music was like therapy for me from someone else. Like there was an artist I used to listen to a lot. People actually referred me to him.
Yes.
And so that's how I started like taking my own mental problems and turning them into beautiful lyrics. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, I need to share this with the world. Because if this guy helped me, then I can help the world myself. So that's how I started going.
So, Kid Icon, I know you have very great plans, yeah? Some of the greatest achievements that you like to do.
Yeah.
Maybe perhaps a Mama's Award, perhaps maybe even a Grammy. You know, I know you're dreaming big, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we are all rooting for you, let me be honest, yeah? But what is one hallmark of your career that you could say it's super legit as of the moment?
Like something I've achieved big.
Yes.
Someone walking up to me and telling me that I inspired them to do music.
Wow.
Yeah, I think just touching a life, that's basically the most important, like the most amazing thing I've experienced in my journey in music.
All right. So we've come to the particular point of the show where we have to be the due and to say because of sometimes some time constraints and everything.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I would like you to tell our audience, where they can get your music and maybe perhaps what you have in store before we close.
Oh, good stuff. So as you all know, my name is the Kid Icon. I'm a music artist. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, just anywhere Audiomack Boomplay as the Kid Icon. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, go find at the official Kid Icon and follow me. Message me, I'll reply back to you.
All right. So it has been a blast having you here in the studio, especially the conversation that we've just had. I hope that you've been able to learn something new, and at the same time keep the conversation going on the comments. And you can always tag me at Fabian_KE on all my platforms, and we'll always continue with this discussion. Of course, great shout out to Damflo and Thuku for making their time and setting the time apart to be with me today and continue this discussion. And also great thanks to the Kid Icon for joining us today. It has really been an inspirational and an informative show, and I have been your lovely host Fabian the Phenomenal. So until next time, keep it lit, be phenomenal, and always remember mental health matters. Thank you.
Oh, wait.